Hi, welcome back to the Cannabis Sommelier. I'm your host, Andrew Freedman. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Cannabis and Wine Pairings. This week, I have a wonderful French producer and a fantastic Canadian producer, one of my favorite Canadian producers. So let's jump right into it, start talking about the wine, and pair them up. So today, I picked La G de Chateau Guiraud, and this is an incredible Sauv, Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, Bordeaux Blanc. There's not very much white wine really made in Bordeaux. It's generally made further in the south, so quite a real rarity, and most of them grow Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc. What's cool about Chateau Guiraud is there's this classification in 1855, and it named the best growers in Bordeaux, and it ranked them first growth and gave them a class. So this wine, there's one very special Sauternes sweet wine called Chateau Guiraud, and it's in the town of Sauternes, and it was a first growth wine, and the only other first growth in the town of Sauternes is in fact Chateau Guiraud. But a much better price. And I think about 65% of their planting is Semillon and 35% is Sauvignon Blanc. I was put onto this wine when I was looking to buy about $140 wholesale bottle, and was recommended to this one as it tastes just as good or better as the $140 bottle I was looking at. So that's really cool. 2016 vintage. I don't think I've tasted yet. So a first growth wine. And this winery was actually bought by a Canadian, I believe, in the 80s, which is really cool. He's been bringing it back to life. Not very much land, I think just about 85 hectares. On the nose, a lot of yellow pear, ripe citrus, you know, kind of overripe lemon, overripe lime. Pithy in all the right ways. What's the berry I'm looking for? Little yellow berry. I always forget the name of it. I apologize. Overripe lemon, ripe yellow pear, overripe lime, very crisp citrus notes, and maybe even almost a little bit of a salinic note to it. On the palate, the wine is bone dry, great acidity, nice body. It actually fills my mouth. It has quite a bit of creaminess to it. I don't think any malolactic fermentation, but it definitely sat on its lees for quite some time, which is really nice, adding that creaminess in. The oak is super well balanced, not new oak for sure, and it has this beautiful salinic finish, and it's still just sitting in my mouth. All those crisp, overripe lemon and ripe pear flavors are just coating my palate. A really wonderful wine, and it shoots way above its price point. I believe I picked this bottle up for 30 Canadian dollars, so that is absolutely incredible value. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful wine. I think I'm gonna bring that to my blind tasting tomorrow when I release this video. The extract I decided to choose or to pair with it is Headband Kush, and this one's processed by Kind Selections. This one was grown in-house, in soil with Remo nutrients. Headband Kush, as I keep learning more and more about all these strains, Headband is actually just Sour Diesel and OG Kush. Probably selected best phenos, and we've ended up in Headband territory. The reason they call it Headband, some people report feeling a pressure around their head, I guess. A little bit on the lid. Very saucy. Lots of visible terp juice, not a ton of visible crystal, which is nice. I love a heavily terp-filled extract. On the nose, the ripest character in it is definitely like a mango lemon blend. I guess it's like myrcene and limonene, kind of neither one is dominating. I guess myrcene would be because behind it is that pine. But it also has a lot of sweetness to it. If I was going to describe it, it would definitely be like a candied lemon peel, but almost a very overripe candied lemon peel. You could imagine before you candied it, the peel was almost getting too squishy. There's definitely those indicative coffee and cola notes of the OG Kush as well, and maybe a little bit of petrol character, a little bit of diesel. Wonderful. Well, from the extract to the wine, it really highlights the salinity, the salinic characteristics, and also kind of highlights the lees I was mentioning, the lees being the used yeast cells that sit to the bottom. It kind of smells a little bit with the extract reminiscent of champagne, which is interesting. Very interesting. That's a very dramatic change. From the wine to the extract, it almost added like cinnamon into the extract amongst that coffee and cola, and almost made it smell like a Mexican coffee with a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of rum. These two are really dramatically changing each other. This is really starting to smell like the warmth of a chocolatier, of a chocolate shop when you walk in and there's all this thickness of the cocoa in the air. The cocoa. It's absolutely wonderful. Wow. So cool. Pine needles, just so much depth of complexity. Anyways, let's see how they taste on the palate, and I'll stop sniffing it on camera. Might be a little bit big of a dab, but that's okay. We don't mind. It's the Cannabis sommelier. So interesting. On the palate, it reminds me of like lemon focaccia bread, as ridiculous as that sounds. Very bright, freshly squeezed lemon, a little bit of salinity, a little bit of breadiness. There's some herbs in there, maybe that I could relate to rosemary, basil. Absolutely none of the petrol diesel smell, but the finish is long, of a nice, like, chalky minerality, which is very interesting. On the nose, it adds cinnamon. On the palate, it really created like an orange juice, like a underripe orange juice kind of flavor. I think I liked it. It was a dramatic change from what the wine was originally. The feeling in my mouth was like a nice, very sour orange juice. The finish right now is like a very sour orange juice, maybe an orange juice that started to ferment in your fridge if you've ever left orange juice a little bit too long. That's exactly what it tastes like in my mouth. Fantastic. Well, when I think oranges, I instantly fall back to tacos. Make some pulled chicken tacos, or maybe some carnitas, some pulled pork shoulder tacos, top it with a beautiful salsa fresca, and I think this is all gonna play really well together. Or think about classic French cuisine, you know? This would be awesome with duck, I bet. Anyways, I hope you make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. definitely, if you can, go out and find some Legis de Chateau Guiraud, Bordeaux Blanc. I'll see you next week for another cannabis and wine pairing. Cheers.